Yes, it's Lip Service. I'm Angela Yee.
I'm Gigi Maguire.
Jordy Jor.
And I'm Monique Samuels.
Hey, girl.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is back. Y'all know I love Real Housewives of Potomac, so I'm glad to see you back on the show on your terms.
Thank you. Yes, it feels good to be back. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And your energy is like, everybody's like, she's so zen-like now and unbothered. You know what I thought initially? I was like, when you first go on a show, you learn a lot. Like in retrospect, when you are like, I should have did this. And like you've said, you know how you react is how you react, but you have to kind of like learn how to, I guess, you know, come across the way you are.
You know, it was interesting because I was so emotionally wired, and I was also not as emotionally like intelligent as I thought I was. Mm-hmm. And I had so much on my plate that adding reality TV into it at that time, I just didn't see it coming. And I really needed to take a step back and just like, I'm like, who am I? Like, what is going on? And I thought that I had such great control over myself and my identity, but absolutely not.
That's what I always say. They're going to put you in them positions, like where you normally in real life, you wouldn't be in that position, but they'll place you here and they're like, go.
And go.
Yeah. And I felt like I always had to explain myself. Like I always had something to prove, and I'm just like, no, it didn't happen like this. It happened like that. And I'm in a place now where I'm so rooted in who I am after doing all the work that I've done on myself that I don't have anything to prove to anybody. And I'm actually standing in my transparency and authenticity in a way that I won't allow any shame, judgment, or guilt put me in a place where I'm shaming myself and I'm mad at myself. It's like, I'm going to live and I'm going to learn just like everybody else, you know?
Oh, I love this for you.
Yes, that's what life is about.
You have a book coming out January 4th. That's the day after my birthday. Just putting it out
just
there.
putting that out there.
A Capricorn book.
A Capricorn book.
I love it.
Love Letters from Versions of Myself, a memoir of self-discovery, transformation, and healing.
Yes.
And you really did a deep dive into yourself to actually write this book. So
yes.
I know it has to be nerve-wracking to know the world is going to be reading this.
It's nerve-wracking, and it's also exciting because when I tell you I spent 4 years writing this book, it started out as just me journaling. So I needed an outlet. I needed to feel like my voice could be heard. And at the time, you know, going through a divorce and everybody not knowing why, because I made an image that looked so great that when I finally was like, I can't do it anymore, even my family couldn't understand what was going on. So I needed an outlet. I started to journal. And at times when it felt like really heavy, I started writing love letters to myself. Actually, my first letter I wrote was actually to my ex-husband. And it's a letter that I wrote to him with the intention of never giving it to him. I just needed to get it all off my chest. So, and to this day, never gave it to him. Wow. So I realized how much of a release that was. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna start writing these love letters to me. And I would notice a few months down the road would pass and I would go back and read it. And it was exactly what I needed to hear in that moment. So I just kept it going. And I was like, you know what? This can be a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And We're going to get some more into that. But first, I want to talk about something that went viral recently.
Yes.
Okay. So you like, I'm prepared for this.
Listen.
Because I haven't seen you talk about this yet.
Yep.
But there was some pictures of you and you did Radio Sister.
Yes.
And I remember when you said this was going to be, you announced that you were leaving in DC WPGC.
Yep.
Okay, so this is the last time that you will be tapping in with me. Today is my last day as co-host on the Good Morning Show. I've been crying all morning. I decided about a month ago, and I had a very difficult conversation with my team, my tribe, about 3 weeks ago. And I let them know that I decided to officially resign as co-host on Good Morning Show. I finally just made the decision that I need to do what's best for myself and my children.
Yep.
And that was a big deal because it was something that you loved doing, but you wanted to focus on family and other things and bet on yourself. And I know how that feels too.
Yes.
Betting on yourself. But then recently these pictures and videos emerged of you and your former co-host, Jason. And it looked like you guys were hugged up and people were like, oh, he's married. What's going on here?
Yeah.
So what was that all about?
So first, it's so much, and I'm gonna unpack it as easily and as neatly as possible. So when I was going through the divorce, I was separated but still living in the same house. Jason and I were like great friends. Like we never spent any time outside the studio, nothing like that. As I was going through the whole divorce process, the separation, everything like that, he was giving me this advice that I was like, you have to have been through something to be able to give me this type of advice. We started to have like an amazing friendship outside of work. And I started to learn some things about what he was going through. So we connected on that level, him being separated, living in the same house, but people not knowing because obviously he's not, out there like that in reality TV space. Mine was more public.
Right.
And it was a friendship that was genuinely a friendship that turned very emotionally connected, and then it turned romantic. And the reason this video is out there right now is because my ex-husband actually leaked it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's
What?
tea. Like legit, he has been showing this video to everybody. And the bigger question is, how did he get it?
So off the cloud.
The cloud.
No, he actually got it from a former friend of mine who, when you go through divorce, you lose some friends, you lose some family. It
Pick my jaw up.
blew my mind. So
I
for
can't
whatever
believe
reason,
that.
for whatever reason, this particular former friend, we were cool. And then it was just like, and she was the only person that I was sharing this
Stuff with.
information with, her and my mom. And she ended up giving it to him,
crazy.
and he used it as an intimidation tactic because he did not want me back on reality TV. He's afraid of my book coming out. So he has been showing it. So people like in a reality TV world on social media, they think they know who he is, but he's a completely different person. Thanks to me, people think that he is what he is.
Right, because you wanted the family life to appear perfect.
Yeah,
for
You did a good
TV.
job at that, by the way.
And
thank you.
And
But
even-
it's to my
Detriment.
you know
to
what?
my detriment.
It's so
Exactly.
interesting because I feel like you've taken, even in this book, it's not like you dragged him at all. There was a couple of truths that you have that I feel like you express in a way that you weren't blaming him for the way that things transpired.
Yeah.
It was just that he was never going to be the person that you thought he would grow to be.
Yes. A lot of times women marry potential and men marry and want to stay the same, and it was that mixed up. And I was like, look, it's not fair for me to keep you in this position. Like, be who you are, but who you are is just not where I want to be anymore. I'm evolving, I'm growing. So it just got really nasty recently.
I can't believe you did
Yeah. So there's a friend that's been on the show, Cookie. She and I stopped talking years ago.
The infamous Cookie Child. You know,
Yeah.
I watched her Cookie.
Yeah.
She was in and out of that party.
Listen, and it's really interesting because it initially got leaked on one of her very well-known fake Twitter pages.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, everybody knows.
I can't believe you're back on this show, girl.
I know.
It's so
And
much already.
so much came out. But you know what's crazy? He tried to use that video to intimidate me from coming back. And I got to the point where I was like, you know what?
it
Whatever.
out.
Like, do what you gonna
Yeah.
do.
Wow.
So it was always like, then it was like, well, I ain't gonna do that. You the mother of my child. I ain't gonna do that. You still the mother of my children. But then he still did it. But then he was even intimidating the other parties. Reached out on Instagram DMs, like, call me. I need to talk. And then threatening, I'm gonna put this out on social media. So this wasn't a surprise.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
just didn't know when. But
yeah.
it wasn't. And the video is 2 years old.
2 years old.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, because I saw that's what people were saying. So he was going through his own separation at home,
Right.
while you were going through what you were going through.
Right.
That is wild. And then you left the show last year. So
yeah, I quit because so my children, now
Yeah.
I'm really getting into it. My children were not dealing with the on and off again, week on, week off, living arrangements. And they really needed me.
Right.
My children are homeschooled. So I was literally getting up at 3 a.m, going to work and then coming
home
back
and-
on my week, having to homeschool them.
Listen, I do not miss
cook,
morning
clean.
radio.
Listen, all of that. Go to bed at like
Okay.
9 o'clock at night to do it again. And I felt like I just couldn't get ahead of the schedule.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, out of all the jobs I've ever had, that was the one I did not want to walk away from. I loved radio.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made the decision and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore.
Put you on a different time slot, baby. 'cause
Yeah.
That morning
Listen,
is
I really wanted to make it work, but my children, they're at an age where they really needed me. And it was funny because once again, he started this whole rumor that I got fired.
with
from
this whole
radio
video of
because
you saying
of-
that you were leaving.
I know. It's just insane. And it's been a lot because this is the first time I'm really putting it out there because he has done so much in the neighborhood, in the streets of Potomac, and anybody that lives in Potomac, that has crossed paths with him, knows exactly what I'm saying. Within 5 minutes, he will pull out his phone. My kids even said that he has a whole folder with screenshots and pictures of me. And at one point, it's been bad. And to the point where he would even tell me, I got eyes on you.
Why?
It's like, dude, enjoy your life.
You dating,
you
dating and doing you. Focus on that. Don't focus on
me. It's like, how does it go from we were in love to like, do you hate me? You know what I mean? Like, what is that about? Because and even watching Real Housewives and seeing like, we've all seen, this is kind of part of the storyline is Stacey, people are saying that she's dating him or whatever happened, she dated him. And you're like, I don't care. We haven't been together for 2 years.
Right.
And you really seem genuinely like,
I literally don't care. I'm like, are you good with kids?
Very much.
That's it. Right. Like, she got a 9-year-old daughter. Okay, if y'all dating, cool. The kids can have a play date. Like, what? That's how you know you are over it. When you are honestly like, I wish you well. Yeah. And I really do wish him well, but I would also wish for him to leave me alone. It's like, let me live my life. You're living your life. You're dating and doing whatever you want to do. And what's crazy is I'm not even dating. I'm not even to that point yet. And honestly, the way things are panning out, even with that, it's like, I would even hate to bring somebody into a situation where he's acting the way he's acting and we're trying to co-parent.
Right.
You know, it's a lot.
And how is navigating co-parenting?
Whew.
A lot.
OMG. Like, it's gotten even worse. And what's interesting is I stayed pretty quiet and I tried my best not to bash because I didn't want it to affect our co-parenting. And he got to the point where he started saying very inappropriate things to the children.
Wow.
He told the children about the video that y'all saw. He actually described it to them. And I'm like, why are you telling, at the time they were 11, 9, and 6, why are you telling children these things?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Twisting the narrative of why the marriage ended, made it like, oh, your mom was having an affair and she was cheating. And
no
that's
accountability,
why.
sir.
Listen,
like, because, you know, it's one thing, like, you took accountability for why things maybe on your end.
Right.
But he hasn't been able to face the fact that you talk about the lack of affection,
right,
the lack of intimacy. There was even one part in the book where things did get physical that you described on one occasion in the book that felt scary, but witnesses were there to actually see him basically lift you up by your throat.
And it's crazy because I think what had me the most was me rationalizing things afterward, you know? And it's like, well, I did kind of egg it on. I did kind of instigate it. And it's just like, all right, I'm going to just let it go.
Right.
And when you're in a marriage and when you've seen it growing up, it's almost like, yo, like, this is normal. Like, okay, we'll get over it. And that was one of the biggest things that led me to get to that point where I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. When I started to think about the fact that my children are witnessing me have behavior that's opposite of what I preach to them, which is self-love. And they're watching me run myself and deplete myself into the dirt. And this is being allowed, you know, and I felt like I just had to keep proving myself. And I'm like, wait, but we're married. Why should I have to prove myself to a person, you know, and we're supposed to be equal. So it's just been a very difficult situation. But the reason why I speak out and I'm talking more and more about it now is because I felt so alone going through it. I didn't realize that there were other people that had the same experience until I started talking more about it. And then I would have women DM me that are like all age groups. They're like, what you're saying, you're describing exactly how my marriage is. I thought I was the only one. And that was the push for me to just, you know, I'm like, I can't keep remaining silent and protecting. You know, I feel like as Black women, we're just rooted to protect Black men. But Black men got to step up too. We're supposed to be getting kind of protected.
Downplaying what happened to you so that it doesn't harm him or what he has going on in his life. There's even one part where you talk about how, and listen, January 4th, the full book is out, so you can read it in its entirety. So don't worry, there's a lot more to it. But you even talk about the scene where, you know, you got into it on the show, and behind the scenes, he was like, "Yeah, babe, you did that," and then on camera, he was like,
completely different,
and not having your back in any way.
Yeah. And then when people see me react, they're not realizing why I'm reacting that way. They're like, oh, you're being mean to Chris. Oh, you're being, and I'm like, y'all don't know what just happened right before these cameras went up.
Right.
Or y'all don't know what was edited out that caused me to have that reaction. And it's like paint a picture as if I'm this terrible wife if you want to, but even as of this year, you're still running around trying to bash me, trying to, you're bitter. And it's just like, dude, like, get over it.
Did he want to get divorced when you brought it up? Because I know you said that you would never bring it up until the day that you were finally like,
yeah,
let's get divorced.
He would use it as a weapon.
Because he didn't believe that you would.
He didn't believe I was going to do it. Even up until the point that we got divorced, he told that same friend, former friend, he told her, after the divorce was finalized and the judge was like, all right, done
deal.
He told her, well, I read that you can have maybe 2 months after the divorce is finalized to change your mind. And she's like, she looked at him like she's not changing her mind, So, I wish him well. Like I said, at this point, co-parenting has gotten so bad. I'm like, what am I protecting? It's like, you want to be mad at me, you're going to stay mad at me. There's nothing I can do about that. And all I need to do is focus on my kids. That's what I've been focusing on, and doing whatever I can to support my children.
Yeah. No, listen, and thank goodness you've been doing the work on yourself, because imagine if this would have been Monique, 5 years ago, what that would have been like, because
not in the same mental space that you are with the clarity you have today.
And you did go and get therapy.
Absolutely.
As well. So I want to talk about that, because all throughout this book,
it's giving.
Giving. I see the
Healing
effects
journey
of what it is that you've learned on this journey.
Thank you. Yes, therapy was so important. The first thing was you normalize things, right? When you're growing up, and then you grow up and get married and everything is normal because you saw it when you were a kid. I didn't realize that I had childhood trauma. My therapist was listening to me retell stories and her mouth just dropped. And she was like, that's not normal. How did you feel about that in that moment? I'm like, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah, it was regular.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, no, it's not.
And it was once she started pointing out how I was responding to the situation, she said, you have emotionally turned off. That's why you don't feel anything. And let me tell you, when I started to let myself feel the feelings, oh my goodness, that was chapter 6. She's dying. I went through it. I had to purge all, people think about healing, they think it's so great to heal. It's not, because you have to revisit everything that has traumatized you, and through therapy and through journaling, through just being outside in nature.
Ayahuasca.
Oh yes, ayahuasca.
I want to ask about that.
Definitely.
Golden teachers, psilocybin, whatever. It's they really help you to speed track the healing. But you still have to go through the process. And that's why so many people don't heal.
Right. Tell me about the ayahuasca, because this is something that
We've
has
talked
anybody,
about
have
for
you ever
years.
done it?
No.
Jordan, you haven't either. Because I want to do it, but I'm also nervous. And I know you have to have a shaman and
I definitely
make sure
want to
that
do
you
it. And I'm not nervous. I just haven't had the opportunity yet. Well, I did, but I wasn't able to go. So yeah.
If you go, I have a place that I went to that I can definitely give you. I researched for a year before I actually took the journey and went on the trip. And
where did you go?
I went to Costa Rica. And there was a small group, so I will not do the ones where it's a bunch of people,
right?
Because that's a lot of energy exposed,
Yeah.
So I did one that was very small and intimate, and they had the shamans. The shamans weren't people who just said, oh, I love this, let me just start my own practice. They've actually been rooted in plant medicine since it's a part of their generational line.
Yes.
So they just were raised up in it. And I felt very comfortable. And it is amazing. It literally is the best way I can describe ayahuasca is you're going through a tunnel and then you hit a wall, and most people will try to figure out how to get around that wall, and they might chisel at it. Ayahuasca is going to knock it down. So when it goes into your body, it searches for your trauma blocks, because every time you've experienced anything traumatic, you store it in your body somewhere. So the ayahuasca finds it and it punches it down with no mercy. Wow. So it's best for you to just say, okay, we're in this together. Don't fight it, because then you're going to have a hard time. So when you are basically just okay, let's deal with it. For me, it was I was watching my life on a movie screen. It was as if I was sitting and I'm watching me, to the point where I'm remembering things that I didn't even remember when I was there. Things that were years ago. I can see exactly what clothes I had on, how my hair was. It was incredibly intense, and it allowed me to push those feelings and that blockage right out the way, like right away. So in the way that this particular company did it, they had breakdown sessions where you're able to kind of talk about it. They give you a chance to just kind of like sit with yourself and process what you just experienced. And I did like a 5-day. So we did actually like 3 ceremonies. And it was incredible. Like for me, it really changed my life. It actually put me in a place of gratitude for where I was going through my divorce with my ex-husband. Even where I felt let down by him, I was grateful to him, and I focused on what I was grateful about. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be in a position to even open my eyes. He pushed me to that limit to make me set those boundaries, right? Before him, I had no boundaries. So it was really deep. It was good. I loved it. It was great for me.
Okay, look, I'm sold.
I really want to do it.
Listen, it's something that I always hear about. I've always wanted to do, but of course, I want to have a good experience.
Yeah.
When I do it, but I know it's also not like a good fun experience.
No,
It's
intense.
Might be,
With the
I've heard some
vomiting
horror
and
stories.
but I also
Yeah.
know it is life changing,
Yeah.
like they always say.
Yeah, you have so many companies that are like popping up and just doing them because they had a good time, or they are like, oh, this is a good money maker. So you have to just watch out and make sure that the ones you're going to are actual shamans who have been raised in plant medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it speed tracks your healing. So it will put you on a path. Something that could have taken you 10 years to process and get over, you're going to process it.
In that moment.
It took you 10 years to find.
Yeah, it took me all that time to find it. I'm like, I could have took this journey a long time ago.
No,
But
and even being married for 10 years, I think it's interesting because I always hear people say like after marriage, sometimes like the intimacy can be harder. I want to ask you, like when you first were together, do you feel like it was good and then it got worse? Or was it always something that you felt like the intimacy wasn't where you needed it to be, but you thought you would work up to it after
it
you
would
got
improve.
married?
I thought it was going to improve. Yeah. We actually, it's so funny. We used to tell this story to people that were close to us, but we had one of our worst arguments on our honeymoon.
Oh,
And that
no.
was the first sign.
Wow.
Yeah, on our honeymoon, because I don't know what type of delusion I was in, but I expected all of a sudden, now we're married, that he would be this like romantic person.
Right.
And we were sitting in the Maldives, and I remember I was so upset with him, and I was like, you're treating me like I'm one of the homies. Like there's no affection, there's no like catering to me. You want me to just cater to you.
Yeah.
And we got into a bad argument. We sitting at the dinner table
honeymoon.
pissed on the honeymoon. And we were able to kind of work through it. But working through it was always me having to just like push down my feelings, right?
Yeah.
And just like, all right, I guess it ain't a big deal. And then move past it.
When it really was a big deal.
Yeah.
My mom said the first time she heard my dad yell was their wedding day.
Wow.
She was like, ooh, that was, she was like, that was an indication right there that it wasn't going to be what I thought it would.
Yeah. I ignored so many red flags.
Yeah, but you really wanted to be married. Where did that come from?
Growing up in a household with 2 parents, and because both of my parents, they struggled. I mean, they would have flat out arguments, and if you saw in the book, I detailed one. And when I tell you,
You thought he
I
was going to
really
kill your mother.
Yeah. I really thought in my mind, because I'm young, I'm thinking that this just happens.
Yeah.
And people get past it and they get over
It's
it.
life.
And so I always wanted to be married. I did go through a time where I was just like, I don't want to be married when my parents got divorced.
Right.
Because I just felt like if y'all been through all of that and I witnessed all of that, why are y'all divorcing now? And then years later, here I am getting married and finding myself in so many of the same situations I witnessed when I was growing up. Maybe not as intense, but still it's like, just reinventing the wheel or reliving the wheel that was there.
It's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Do you think you would marry again?
I would, but I don't necessarily think it has to be like married on paper or government style. Like, because after going through a divorce and realizing how much you have to wait
The government
for
is
the
in your
government.
business.
Oh, yeah. You
They
get
control
married
it
one
all.
day and it
They
take you
control it
a
all.
year to get divorced or more.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And the only reason that I was able to even get a divorce as quickly as I did is because I just was like, I wasn't fighting him. I didn't even have an attorney. I was like, I just want to be done. I was so miserable. I said, I want to be done with this. Like, I just want my peace and just let me go.
That's
Leave me
interesting
alone.
because divorce could be so ugly when people are
The terms can get very tedious.
going back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
And then also to know what you deserve. Because sometimes
Yeah.
people try to make it seem like, well, he had this career and he did this. Why does she deserve? But sometimes we make a lot of sacrifices.
Yes.
Because, raising 3 kids is a full-time job. Imagine you paid nannies and paid, people to do those things, how much that would end up being. And then there's things that you wanted to do, like you said.
Yeah.
You didn't want to give up radio, but at the same time, you're homeschooling your kids.
More important.
You want to make sure you're there. 3 children at home. He wasn't going to say, well, let me, sacrifice.
No.
Wow.
And no child support, no nothing. I didn't want anything.
Wow.
I was like, I wanted to be done.
I just want to be free.
I wanted to be free. I really did.
Wow.
And I still do. It's like, now things is changing because I'm like, we're having to modify custody. We're having to really we were in court. Like, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. We're going through more now being over 2 years divorced than going through the divorce process.
Divorce.
So wait, no child support. So did you get any type of what do they call
alimony?
it? Yeah, alimony.
We had a prenup, so I was able to get what the prenup allowed me to
terms of the
have.
prenup.
Which when we did the prenup, it wasn't with the mindset of us having children.
Right.
It was like if I didn't have children and whatever I got with the prenup, that would have been fine. I would have just
Walked away.
I'm
That's
good.
it.
But I still walked away and I was just like, God will figure it out. Like, you're not my source. God's my source. I'm going to always be good. And that's what I just have faith in the fact that I'm always going to be well taken care of. And I've been, I left my job over a year ago and I've been good. Everything has been flowing.
Good. I love that for you.
Yeah, listen, I'm like, me and my children, since I've been divorced, we've been to 8 different countries. We still travel. I don't tell them no when they ask for things because they're great kids. And I love that I don't have to second guess do I have to because I need to pay these bills. I'm like, I'm blessed and I have more than enough and I'm good. And I think some people get mad at that.
Yeah. Well, what is it like now being back on the show on Real Housewives of Potomac? Because it's different now. It's been a few seasons that you've been gone.
Yes.
And now I did not expect this, to happen.
I didn't either, girl.
Yeah, because you did
I
Love
am
and
an
Marriage.
avid watcher of not just Potomac, but the entire franchise.
Yeah.
And when I heard you was coming back, I could not wait to see what was going to happen.
And it was so unplanned. It was very unexpected. Like, literally, every year they ask me back, and I'd be like, "No,
I'm good."
Even this year, I told them no about 7-8 times. I talked to the SVP at the production company, Lorraine, and I love me some Lorraine. And we talked, and she was just like, "Look, I'm going to be in town next week. I don't even want you to answer me." She said, "Don't say anything." She said, "Just think about it." And I was like, okay. So I listened to her. And a week later, I was like, why am I not going back? Like, what is keeping me from it? I felt like I was saying no out of habit.
Right.
Versus a
real
reason.
reason. Yeah.
And I sat back and thought, and I was like, I guess I can do it. This would be the best way to see how much I've actually healed.
Right. Because they back in that group.
Right. But I've been so excited. And even though there's drama and stuff going on now, I still I had a great time.
A lot of the drama ain't got nothing to do because it's all kind of things happening.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, your whole situation is nothing compared to Karen done went to jail,
Woo.
Wendy,
Right.
Mia, everybody's having issues.
Yes.
You look, I'm just going through.
Right. My stuff is off camera. I'm dealing with it. It's been insane, but it's also been good for me because now I'm able to go back and not feel like I have to protect anybody or cover things. I'm just I'm me.
And this is it.
They gonna want you to date somebody though.
Right. They're gonna want it, but I'm not gonna just force it.
Right.
Look, I ain't paying for no
You're not gonna
boyfriend.
pay- I knew you were
I
gonna
ain't
say
paying
no boyfriend.
I ain't hiring no
Shame.
ex-husbands.
Have you formed any new friendships with the ladies that you just met this season since you've been filming with them?
I wouldn't say friendships, but I've been cool with everybody. I feel like there's potential for it.
Okay.
I really like Tia.
I like Tia too.
Is at first I was just like, what's her deal? I
like Tia.
But I wasn't really around that much. Like, you'll see me kind of in and out because I was traveling. I still had things that were on my schedule. I signed a contract and they were at my house filming the next day with Ashley. It was
like
that
before
fast.
she changed her
Right.
mind.
Yes,
Right, okay.
I'm telling you, they really were.
I know Ashley happy to have you.
Yeah,
back on.
She's been trying to get me back for years.
She's a cute guy, as you know, in the last episode.
Yeah, that was so cute when she dresses
handsome.
in her drag.
Right.
Her female drag.
I love Ashley. People don't give her enough
She's
credit.
so fun.
She is, but Ashley, she owns her stuff. Like, one thing about Ashley, if she's being messy, she will own that she's being messy.
Yes, she will.
Yeah, she'll bring it.
Yes,
she knows what
and
she's
she don't
doing.
care.
Yes.
Because that's one thing you also learn filming, and you've talked about this.
Yeah.
Is that you gotta do like sometimes they don't pick up on the little things and the little conversations, but when you do something wild, or when that's what gets on to the actual episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you never know. Like filming is fun. It's once they edit it and they create whatever, then it's like, wait, what about when I said this? Or what about that? You know? But now I look at it from a different lens. And like I said, I don't have to protect anything. You know, prior when I was married, once we're watching the season, if I said something that he didn't like, then it was like, why you say that? Why you have to say it like that? Nah, don't be saying da. So now when I film the next season, I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, it was just like the weight of the world felt like it was on me, and I couldn't really be me because I was afraid that I might say the wrong thing.
Around
right. His image, because he's concerned about that.
Yes.
But forget about the reality, because that can actually help you heal too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Living in your truth.
People talk about the reasons why relationships don't work, and they always say one of the top reasons is finances. Adultery, of course, is always up there too. Intimacy, things like that. What would you say for you was the top reason, if you had to say, like, this was the number one reason why we couldn't connect?
I felt like I was being used. Like I didn't feel like I was really being like appreciated for what I brought to the relationship. And then he didn't feel like he was being appreciated for what he brought. He looked at it as, well, I'm paying for everything.
Ooh, that's
I'm providing. And I'm looking at him like, but you're not, I don't even know you sometimes.
You're not nurturing.
Sometimes it's a form of control too.
Yeah.
Like where people are like, I'm financially providing and that should be enough.
Right. Do what I say.
Yeah. And that was definitely the case. It was like, if we got into an argument, it would be because I'm expressing like my feelings on something and expecting that emotional covering. But it was like me bringing up or expressing my feelings or what hurt my feelings was like, I'm being ungrateful because I pay for all of this.
Right.
So we just couldn't see eye to eye. And it was a constant argument where it was like, he's retired. He wanted to live life and be retired. But I'm like, but we got 3 kids.
Yeah.
Little kids. Babies.
And I'm like, and I felt as though because he had played football and he made this money and we were dating for half his career, we didn't get married until after he retired. And it felt like it was always his. So I never felt like I could actually relax. And I could never just like enjoy it with him. I could organize events and trips, but it was like, okay, yeah, he'd go along with it, but we weren't ever together in on it. Like it was like I was doing all the doing and he was paying for it.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't an equal balance. It was more of just you doing and him expecting
paying
of you.
for it.
Yeah, paying for it. That's
how
a form of control.
Yeah, it is. It is. And when people say somebody said that they felt as though I left the marriage because of his money. And I'm like, what sense does that make? If I wanted his money, I would have stayed.
For the money.
I have access.
I would have stayed for the money.
I've been out here balling out.
Right. It's like, but I didn't marry your bank account. I didn't marry you because of what you had. I really wanted us to be a power couple. I wanted us to really be able to have these deep talks. And I feel like a wall went up with him once we got married, almost like I can't be vulnerable anymore because I have to be the man.
Do you think it bothered him to not be playing football anymore?
Absolutely.
Because that's part of it too. For a lot of professional athletes, he's used to being celebrated in that way, used to that. And then now I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that's an adjustment for somebody to make also.
Yeah. There was a lot of, it was depression. It was depression. Like pretty much our whole marriage, there was depression.
Right.
And it was like, towards the end is when he really accepted it. But by that time I was done. Yeah. And then it was still like, it's like, I tried to pull him along as much as I could in every way. And it was like, there was nothing else I could do for you. And why am I saving you? Why am I having to fix you? And I don't think that that's fair to either one of us.
Not at all. Especially not fair to you.
Feelings about, he's used to being the household name, and that kind of shifted when you had your own public persona.
Right.
How did he react to that?
It's interesting because on the outside, he was always very excited about it. Like, yeah, my wife, this, that, and the other, she's a star, da, da, da. But it makes me wonder if that was just what you were saying, but what did you really feel in the inside?
Did he ever tell you he was proud of you?
He would say it in front of other people.
But not in an intimate setting or in a private setting?
No, we barely talked towards the end. Like,
That sucks.
we barely talked. Like, when I did that second reality show, Love and Marriage DC, the most we talked was actually while we were
on camera,
which was terrible.
Wow. There's nothing worse than being married or being in a relationship and being lonelier than you would be if you were single. Because that is the worst. People always, oh, you single, you this, you that, you know. Listen, I'd rather be single
than married and still
enjoying
feeling
my life
alone
than married and miserable.
I have chills right now while you saying that, because you just took me back to a space where I remember sitting on the couch and I'm literally sitting next to him and I'm crying. And I'm like, I have never felt so lonely. And I'm literally sitting right next to you. It was like I was trying to find different ways of connection. And I felt like I was always the one trying. And then, you know, I just feel like he really did the best that he could. Right. You know, like I'm not mad at him. It was like, that was what he could give based on how he was brought up, based on the emotional connections that he had with his own family and parents and things like that. And he was doing, in his mind, he's doing better than what his parents did.
Did he ever do therapy, or did you suggest it? Or
we did everything.
Okay.
We tried. We really did. We really did try.
We did it all.
We tried, girl.
We did. We've seen so many therapists.
And was that something that you brought to him? Like, maybe we should talk to somebody. Maybe we should seek therapy.
Yes.
To try to work on things. And was he initially acceptant of it? Because, you know, black men feel like they can't tell people their business. They feel like they can't sit down in front of somebody and really be open.
And they feel like people take a side too. They
yeah.
Like,
so was that something that when you brought it to him, did he fight kind of about it, or was he agreeing?
He didn't fight. He was like, all right, let's do it. He was always, let me tell you, he was always down. Like, if I brought something to him, it was always like, okay, for the most part.
Right.
But it was like, I was just like, okay, can you make some suggestions?
Right. Can you put forth more effort?
Right. So yeah, so he definitely, he would take part in it. But that ended up being even interesting because it would be a situation that he might bring up in therapy, something that we actually went through, worked through. And I could have been the one that was wrong, right? And then we would work through it, and then I wouldn't do that thing anymore. But then when we go to therapy, he would bring that up.
Like, we passed that.
We did.
Bro. You like, figure that out?
Yeah. He was literally, and I was like, I was like, wait, did we solve it? He's like, well, yeah. Have I done it again? Yeah.
Let it go.
He was like, I just want to
know. Yeah.
And
He was
let it
like,
go.
it was like, if I bring up a current situation, you got an old one back in your back pocket that you want to bring
that
up.
he want to rebuttal with.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, no, this ain't how it works. Bring it up when it happens.
Yeah.
And we did that.
Don't wait till don't bring it back up. Now, I want to ask you a couple of things about the show.
Okay.
All right. So what are your thoughts about what Wendy is going through right now?
Oh my goodness. First of all,
because I know y'all didn't talk while you weren't on the show, but it seems like you guys reconnected and are finding your way into friendship.
Yeah. First of all, when you are on reality TV, I mean, people are going to make whatever out of nothing. And we don't know what her side of the story is. We don't know what Eddie's side of the story is. And just looking at the whole circus with the whole like press conference and all of something about it just seems really off. And I'm always a little hesitant to make any type of judgments when you have a predominantly like black family living in a predominantly like white neighborhood. Because it just feels like, I'm like, there's something that's missing here.
You know, I felt it when she was saying we didn't like have fake credit cards. We just gave different names for packages. To get delivered to. And they were like ridiculous. Yeah. So it wasn't, so I could see that because sometimes people don't want to give.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because when I was still living in Potomac with my ex, we would have people literally roll up to our house, knocking on our door. Yeah. Asking for jobs or asking for like literally. Wow. So people like know
your
where you
public knowledge.
Exactly. So it's like I can see why you would have an alias for deliveries or whatever. Things. Yeah. So I feel like it sucks because it's like they're being put on public display for everybody else's judgment, and we still haven't heard what their side is. Nothing. You know, and like, why are y'all putting all of this? Why is the state or whoever's behind this investigation? Why are y'all feeding all of this to the media? Public?
Yeah.
It's
just good press for them too. You know, they like the police department. They love press as well. Don't get it off of me. I'm just saying.
Now,
in addition to that, of course, Karen.
Yeah.
And I know she did a sit down with Andy.
Yeah.
You know, also talking about that. But she's home. The Grand Dame is back.
The Grand Dame is back, baby.
And I know you reached out to her, right?
I reached out to her prior to, and I haven't talked to her since. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen her, haven't talked to her.
Really?
She reached out to me, but it wasn't like on a like let's get together type of deal. It was like more like, hey girl, who you use for your microblading on your eyebrows?
Oh no,
that's a good question.
That is a good question, but girl,
but it was weird because I was like, I haven't
what's up,
talked
girl?
to you.
Hey girl, hey.
But she
Welcome
likes your
back.
brows. That's good.
Right? I was like,
Back to it.
I don't know. It kind of like put me in a moment of just like, I just need to take a step back. That's what I've been doing lately.
Taking a step back.
The opposite of what I would normally do. So instead of me jumping the gun and trying to dissect what a situation means, I'm just going to put you on pause and just step back because I don't want to put my own like feelings on something that maybe weren't your intention. So when I see her, I see her.
Right. All right, look, I want to do one of these heart works from your book. It's not homework, but this is us, just answering a couple of questions. Okay. All right, because of course, with your letters to yourself, there's also questions that you can ask yourself. Okay, so I want to ask the ladies here. What are you deeply afraid of, and how have those fears affected your life and relationships with others?
Wow.
Gigi.
Wow, what am I afraid? I'm a daredevil. I don't give a fuck.
I don't know, Gigi.
What am I afraid of?
How have those fears affected your life? I remember when Gigi, you used to be like, I never want to get married.
Yeah.
And that used to be definitely something.
Definitely something I used to say a lot.
Yeah.
I'm open to it now.
You're open to it now. But what do you think is something that you're afraid of, and how has that affected your life and relationships with others?
I think that I'm afraid of people not seeing me for who I truly am because of the persona that I might put off with how I speak, like here and on Pink Conversations. And I'm just such like a wild card that I think that people might not take me as serious as I really am because they get that wild card factor from me. But I'm very much serious about life. I'm a grown-ass 46-year-old woman. I'm a mother, and I do care. Like, I know I come off as just this easy breezy, go with the flow, but I have a strong foundation, and I really do care a lot about my friends and my family and just things that happen in life. So I think I would say that could be something that I
like
have
your
a fear.
vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
You don't want people to see that, and you care, but maybe you don't let people know.
I don't let people know as much as I probably should. I kind of maybe put a guard up in that case, Yeah.
What would you say, Jordy Jor? What are you deeply
I have two
afraid
big
of?
ones, I think.
Okay.
My first one is irrational, which is my greatest fear is my dad dying, which is inevitable. But I'm scared for what that means for me. I already lost my mom. I don't have any siblings. And so I don't know if anyone's ever going to know me and accept me and love me fully other than him. So I think that's a fear. And I think the other fear actually comes from reality TV where they don't tell you when you go into it what it's going to be like or how mentally it changes you. And sometimes I feel like I was almost like bullied out of my personality. And so I'm still navigating that. And I'm worried. I'm like, did I really like kill myself off in that way? I don't know. Right. I'm still figuring that out.
It does kind of it forces you to abandon yourself in some situations because you're having to like have your subconscious mind on display when normally you reserve your comments, process it, and then you'll come back. It's like, no, we got to cut to the chase.
Yeah. Because you also, people think about, I can't look like a punk too, like when this airs.
Yes.
Yeah. And you have no control
that's a
over
real
that.
thought.
You know, you have no
you
control.
Definitely have no control.
Like when you
the
said
power
you
of
had to
editing is
explain,
crazy.
right. There's certain things that aren't even happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying in confessionals, but it's on the overlay of something else. And I'm like, that's not even what I was talking about.
Yes.
And then it makes you feel crazy because you're like, did I say that? I don't remember saying that.
But
so
you might
that
have.
part, right.
I'm clearly saying it right now, but didn't.
I don't know.
Hilarious.
Yeah, so that's
a good
trippy to
one.
me.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny you say that about your dad because my family was over for the holidays and my dad is getting older. His knees is messed up.
Right.
He was walking so slow, you know, up and I'm not used to that.
Oh.
You know, so that's a real thought. Like, sheesh, that's, you know, that's going to be a crazy thing. And then I know how close you and your father are.
Absolutely.
So I can't imagine that, man. I would say for me, what's something that I'm scared of? I think that a lot of times, and I was thinking about this because I was looking at this article about Buddhism. It's random. But anyway, about not explaining yourself in situations, right? And so like I know in your book, you talk a lot about like, and you said it on the show that, you know, your circle is now a dot. You have people around you. And there are so many people that say things, especially like when you have a public personality, that's not true. And it's like, are you going to defend yourself against everything? But
All the
sometimes
time.
I also hate the fact that there's these narratives that you're not correcting, but then you just can't correct everything all the time. It'll drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer now that when people hear a story and they believe it and it's negative towards you, that's how they always felt about you.
Right.
They want it to be true.
They want it to be true so bad.
And if they want it to be
Like, they
true,
be like,
then
ooh, I knew it.
yes,
I knew
just
that bitch was
stay
I.
over there. Stay over there. If that's what you want from me, stay over there.
Stay right over there.
Stay on that side. Don't come
Right.
over here asking you.
Yes. Look, I'm like, I'm gonna tell my story once and I'm done. Whereas back in the day, oh my God, I'd be on Instagram.
You be trying to like
Live,
explain,
like,
clap,
no, that's
This
not
is
what
what really
happened.
happened.
Right.
You're like, I don't even have time for that.
No.
Now, I do want to ask you this. What relationship do you and Candace have, or any at all?
None at all.
None at all?
None at all. Yeah, I just I apologized 5 years ago at the reunion and it was genuine. And it's funny because a clip of that popped up on my reel and I was watching myself from like I hadn't seen it in so long. And it was like they wanted me to be crying. They wanted me to be emotional, but I had already been all of that and they weren't there to see it. But I was being very genuine about my apology, but it was like, cause I wasn't crying and stuff.
They didn't
and,
believe it. Or
begging for forgiveness. Nobody wanted to believe it.
Hit.
But I just looked at it as, look, it is what it is. It happened. I apologize for it. I've moved on.
Right.
And I hope that she has.
Because everybody's in a different space now.
Yeah,
You
that was
are.
5 years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't wish any bad on anybody because I realize how energy works now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like, if I wish bad on you,
okay. That shit is coming right back. Right. Absolutely.
I'm like, I wish you all the good
All
wishes.
the best. Okay. All the best.
Man, it's interesting to see. I cannot wait to finish watching this season because, unfortunately, Chris is still a character on here. They're calling him,
Yeah, when
reaching
they
out to
called
him for things.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Now let's ask ourselves a question. Why is his name being mentioned so much?
So much.
And then what I didn't like, and this is only because I know this person. So it's like the whole, I don't know what y'all talking about.
You knew
come on.
exactly.
Right. Yeah, and then what I didn't like is, like, I ain't cool with Cookie, but I was like, dang, he just threw Cookie under the bus, and she's been his biggest mouthpiece.
Right.
He completely threw it under the bus. She was riding for him. And then you say you don't know what they're talking about? So I'm just like, why would you do that to her?
Child, they've been mentioning his name since episode 1.
Listen,
wait.
Which is why they was probably so pressed for me to come back this season.
You're like, and here I am, baby.
Right. And what's up?
Here I am, unbothered. Like,
Unfucking
what?
bothered.
Like, dead
Yes,
the
ma'am.
She
situation.
came in and they escorted her out
Right
so
out.
fast.
Right
I was like, well, damn.
Did we even see Cookie?
I felt like she walked in, turned around, and walked out.
Did we even see Cookie?
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that situation is just a mess. And you'll see on the next episode, I give Stacey some wise words and hopefully
can't
she'll
wait.
take heed.
Well, are you having fun?
I am.
Okay, good.
I am.
That's
You
the
look
most
like
important
it.
thing.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying my life right now.
Okay,
I am.
good.
I
Yeah.
am.
I can see it on you. You look very happy. You're glowing.
Thank you.
You lost all this weight. What did you do? Did you change your diet? Did you work out?
You know what's crazy? This is my normal weight.
Okay.
And every time that I've been on in the past years, I was either I just had a baby or I was pregnant. So nobody actually really saw me, like, because I've been 120
normal
since high
you.
school. Like,
Okay.
I can't gain weight to save my life unless I'm
Okay.
pregnant and
Okay.
I'm done having babies.
Okay. So now we back to
I need to
regular.
go do some squats or find a good man to give me some happy weight.
Okay. You look
Well,
good.
I'm sure
You look
there's
happy.
plenty of people
You
that
look
would
happy.
apply
Yes.
for that job. Okay. All right. Well, listen, you definitely got to come back.
I will.
You know, we had a great
definitely.
time, and I appreciate your openness and honesty and your positive vibes and energy.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here.
We'll be watching for you, girl. And don't forget that book, Love Letters from Versions of Myself, a memoir of self-discovery, transformation, and healing. January 4th. That is out. We will remind you though. No worries.
And it actually goes on pre-order December 7th.
Okay, so order it now.
Yes.
Okay, so pre-order. Period.